Wasn't ready for that. Well, I'm rocking away, completely in my own world. How are you? Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Beyond the Stars with Miranda Rock.
I'm good.
And Tracey. So let me just read out a little bit about what we're about and what we're doing, and then I'll introduce you, Tracey, if that's okay. So for those who watch the replay, don't forget to share us out, like, follow, etc., so that other people, we're going to echo, so other people get notified about who we are and what we're doing. Have a look. Okay, so our platform that I've created today is about extraterrestrial and alien life experiences that many have witnessed, heard, or had physical encounters with, whether through an explained or unexplained event. Many guests will come in and engage and share their personal encounters about the unknown. It's often referred to as UFO, which I like to call star beings, galactic beings within our universal construct. A lot of these encounters have been very transformative, but undeniable for me. While some have had positive experience, there's some that may have not, and we want to acknowledge those people that have not had good experiences with UFOs and other things like this, as this is a safe space that we are offering in a way that is unconditional, so that anyone, if they wish, can share either a positive or negative experience in their aspect. So I just want people to know that, so that they understand that if it is an emotional experience for them or something they're not comfortable with, I wish to explain that perhaps you need to understand that there'll be many types of different stories shared here. So we don't glorify or deny anyone else's experience either with any UFO contact, and we fully respect those who share their stories with us and those who will participate as an observer or a listener on this podcast. The subject will be broad, and we anticipate a diverse array of accounts involving, as I've said, extraterrestrial, galactic beings, UFOs, UAPs, ships, unusual lights, visitations, and much more. We will cover and encompass both spiritual and physical stories and experiences, and we are very grateful for those that come in and share their perceptions of those experiences. So today, welcome Tracey. Just got to give a quick intro. Thank you for coming. This is Tracey Hillier of Heavenly Flow. For those that do not know her, there'll be people that will come in later that are not aware of who you are. So I'm also going to do a little introduction about you, if that's okay, so that people are aware of not only who you are, what you do, why you're here, while you're sharing some of your experiences and stories. And then also at some stage, if they wish to contact you, they can do so whether privately or otherwise. So if you just bear with me, I'll go through that as well. Okay, so brief introductions. Tracey Hillier from Heavenly Flow. Tracey is an intuitive, a direct channel, trance channel, and a medical medium. She's also a multidimensional healer, an activator, prolific in light language coding, and her services include massage, energy healing, and how do you say that? Is it gua sha? Is that right? Gua sha? Gua sha? Facial massage. Now, Tracey is in Australia like myself. I'm in Queensland, Australia, and Tracey lives in a secluded part of Adelaide, South Australia. For those that don't know where that is, that's down the bottom of our country. Are you near Lake Alexandria? That's correct, isn't it? So, yeah. This area is actually very renowned for its unusual phenomenon, including UFO sightings, strange lights, orbs, energy balls, and encounters with galactic beings or UFOs. Tracey herself has frequently experienced the paranormal throughout her whole life. Not only has Tracey witnessed these events, but she has also had visitations herself and other family members, and that'll be up to you, Tracey, if you wish to share their stories as well, because it's very personal, and I haven't asked permission for that. So, and many of these things have happened in her local area and surrounding areas. Her experiences encompass communication and channeling, healing, visits, and unexplained sightings. So, Tracey, thank you for coming. That's just a brief idea. We will ask you to go in a little bit deeper as we do. So, if you'd like to begin by just letting us know in a way that you're comfortable with, and you can go anywhere you wish with your experiences. So, if there's some things you wish to share that are a little bit intense or go a little bit down the rabbit hole, as I say, feel free to do that. It's unconditional. There's no judgment here on anybody's stories, and we're open to all experiences, as I said. So it's what stage did you actually really begin to feel that perhaps there was something a little bit different about you and there was something going on in your life that represented this sort of topic? Was it very early that you can remember? Is it early memories?
All my life, I've always been. Is my internet right? You're breaking up for me. All my life, I've always known things about people that I shouldn't know.
Yeah. Okay.
So
like a
I would
sixth
go
sense
to
or
a party.
more.
We'd be out.
Yep.
We'd go to a party, and I'd be having a great time, and then all of a sudden, it's like, and I'm outside the circle watching. Now I'm no longer there. It's
Okay.
always been like that, and I'd go home. and it was
Okay.
very always felt a little bit not included. Not really. Hard to
Not
explain.
as familiar, not like, did you sort of feel, because I've been through similar, so did you sort of feel like perhaps you didn't really exist in the world they're existing and it was very, very different from the
Yeah, it
norm,
was.
correct?
It
Yeah.
felt like I was outside of that circle, and I was watching everything unfold, no longer part of it.
Okay.
So I would just go home,
Yep.
and it's
You're
always been
breaking up.
like that. So a feeling of never really belonging, even with people I love. It was very strange.
Yeah, right.
And I could go somewhere where I didn't know anyone, and I'd watch, a bit of a watcher, so I'd watch everything that was going on, and then I'd be introduced to a husband and wife, and I'd be like, but there's a
Mm.
connection between the husband. I thought the husband was with a different woman, and then I'd kind of go, oh shit,
Yeah.
and I shouldn't know that stuff,
Sorry.
but I
Oops.
just reading the energy,
Yeah, that's right. It's intimate.
always
Yeah.
read the energy
Yeah, that's right.
and what it was. So I always knew I was a little bit
Okay.
different and
Yeah.
just different. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that
So,
really, that kind
so
of
just
knocked my
sort of,
confidence a lot
yeah.
with relationships in
Well,
my
it
life.
would, because you go, well, I'm supposed to feel like everyone else. I'm supposed to think like everyone else and walk and talk like everyone, but I'm feeling very separated from that. I feel that, you'll be going like, I feel like I'm not even, I can't even talk or think like they do. Their topic of conversation or their ideal of themselves is very here, a middle road, and you probably got this feeling running through you in every way, whether it's emotionally or mentally, of there's
So
more than this, right? So yeah, yeah,
lots of alcohol for me in my younger days to try and stop that
yeah, yeah. A
separation
lot of
happening,
people
but it
do
was
that.
still, it didn't matter how much I drank. Yeah. But yeah.
Okay,
I'd
doesn't
like
make
to
any
talk
difference.
today about things
Yeah,
that happened. Oh, sorry, we're lagging.
yeah.
I'd like to talk about
It
stuff
doesn't
that's
matter.
happened while I've
Yeah. I missed that.
yeah.
We're
Should I
probably going
come
to have
out
a
and
bit
go
of.
out and come back in so we get rid of that?
You can give it a try. Oh, well, wait, just try. Sometimes, because Tracy's, like I said, she's in a more isolated area.
Yeah,
Sometimes the Wi-Fi jumps in and out. So yeah, go on and give it a try, and I'll jibber while I'm waiting.
and
No
it's
problem
very
whatsoever. Is that okay? Sometimes we have this. It doesn't matter. Sometimes it can be 100% perfect Wi-Fi for everyone, and then occasionally we just get a little bit of waves of interference. Like I said, Tracey is in a quite an isolated area of Australia. Not that she's isolated, but she lives on a property on land. So therefore, some of the Wi-Fi, I know it shouldn't be like that in our day and era, but it is. Sometimes when you're in a rural or that sort of environment, the Wi-Fi can just sort of has waves and gaps. So it's not uncommon. So thank you all for coming. Share us out. Please do. Tracy's experiences, I know Tracey very well. We're besties, and her experiences, they run very deep, unusual, but quite amazing in that aspect. So I'm looking forward to her sharing that piece of herself. Where we are, I'm in a bit of a rural environment as well, but on the beach, on the ocean, and seems to be those type of areas. I know it's in the city as well, but seems to be for us rural types. I'm in a very small town. There seems to be a lot of activity that runs through over either the oceans or over the land of where we are. So it's not uncommon. That's why I've tried to reach out for people that are just in different areas in Australia, just to let people know that sometimes the city is very active, and a lot of the times the rural outdoors areas for some reason are very, very active. And I just don't know if it's because they can see clearer out there, like the skies are clearer, the stars are brighter, not sure. But anyway, Adelaide Hills. No, she's in South Australia, Adelaide, Rolling. Okay. So there we go.
Yay, is that better?
Yeah, a little better. It's only like little increments.
All right.
We'll do our best. Okay, can you repeat what you said? That would be good.
I've had a lot of experiences whilst I've been awake. I used to drive a lot for work, like a lot hours.
Yep,
It takes me an hour to get anywhere from here.
that's right. Yep.
And I've had a lot of experiences where I've been like in my own consciousness here on this plane, and had some pretty amazing experiences. So I wouldn't mind sharing a few of those.
Yeah, please do. So maybe start, what was the very first unusual? Like something that is you yourself go, I can't believe that's really happening, right? Something a bit different. Yeah.
I was trying pick a one. I don't know which order they came in. But
Doesn't matter.
one of the probably the craziest things that's happened was driving to work to pick up a client down in Aldinga, and I was driving down the Nangita Road, which is like, I don't know how long, but like many kilometers long. And I was driving down there, and out of the blue, I just had this massive release, which I quite often do when I'm driving, and it just comes up from my feet and just comes up out, this big emotional release. And I was like literally howling like a dog with a broken leg. It was huge. And I still to this day do not know what I was
Wow.
releasing.
Yep.
And when that finished, I got that beautiful, that spirit love that comes in and you weep.
Yeah, you do.
It just makes you weep with joy. It's so
Yep.
beautiful.
I get that every time I tune
And the
in. I've
next
got to
thing I
learn to
know,
hold
I'm
it.
doing I was
Yeah.
doing it's a 100-kilometer road, and I'm doing 100 kilometers, and all of a sudden time slowed down to not much more than a walking pace. And I'm looking at everything, and
Okay.
I'm looking at my speedo, and I'm looking at everything, and I'm just like, what on earth? And it wasn't frightening. It was rather, I was amazed, like, what on earth's going on? A little confused.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the next thing I know, I've been pulled up out, and I'm looking at this massive tree, and I can hear it.
Right.
I
Yeah.
can
Because
hear
trees do
sounds it tree
communicate.
makes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Wow.
I've looked around, and every time I put my focus on another type of plant, I would hear that plant. And it was just a real showing how everything is interconnected, and that I can't explain it. It was more of a knowing that came through at this point. And
Right.
then I'm back in my car, I'm still going at walking pace.
Yep.
My speedo is still doing 100 k's, and I'm motoring along.
Jeez, yes.
And I'm looking at agapanthuses and listening to the sound of their frequency. And then I'm looking at pine trees and listening to them. And then I'm looking at gum trees and seeing the difference in their frequency and fully connecting to them. It was amazing. And then I've looked at the
Wow.
dead oats, and in my little mind, being me, I've gone, well, they're dead,
Yeah.
the long wild
Yep.
oats. And all of a
Yep. Yep.
sudden, millions of little tiny high-pitched frequencies, and they're almost vibrating, are all in the soil at me. And I'm just like, oh, like,
Wow.
the circle of life, basically.
What the heck? Yeah. Yeah.
And I was just crying, but it wasn't like blubbering. It was just tears were flowing, and it was beautiful, and it was joyous.
Yeah.
That stayed at that slow speed, that entire road. Then the
True.
speed when I turned
And
onto the
when you
freeway,
say but when you say slow, do you mean like, do you feel like everything went fuzzy, and it's like when you pause a movie and it just goes stop, dead stop, or was it still
no,
things are still moving a little bit?
it was like I was walking. It was like I was doing 5 kilometers in my car, and everything else felt exactly the same, but I was looking at the speedo, and I knew I was going at 100.
Doing
It
100?
was strange.
Yeah.
It was just exactly like I was driving 5 kilometers, but I wasn't.
Wow. So
I was doing 100.
still moving per se. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That's
Then time
interesting.
came back
Interesting.
to the normal speed, but that
Yeah.
joy, that tears, that lasted the entire way to work. It was about a 45-minute experience.
Wow.
And
That's
I
a
had
long
to pull
time.
over around the corner from my client and actually call in and ask for it to be stopped, because I couldn't work in the state I was in.
No, no, no,
I have
no.
a 12-year-old
Overwhelmed.
lad.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was pretty
So
cool. That was
do you
amazing.
think
That
you
was
felt, sorry, do you think you felt the joy of the universe? The joy it feels,
yes,
the
the
pleasure
joy.
it feels
It was
about life. Yeah.
There's a real connectedness that we are all just energy, and everything is frequency, and it was very clearly shown to me, and it was beautiful.
Awesome.
It was just beautiful how
Wow.
connected everything and everyone are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Since
Yeah.
that
So it's
point,
like
I
a
can put
release.
my hands on trees
Um,
and talk to trees.
did you not, maybe it wasn't a release you're having, maybe you were just in that realization, and that realization was the waking up the memory of perhaps
I
even
feel like
what you are a part of, you know what I mean? Because
maybe,
because you said that the way you felt, it was so loving and so emotional, and sometimes we forget that intense love that we can feel from creation, right?
mm,
And the overwhelming part of
yeah,
us when we get into that state is quite often, I feel, perhaps that's what you're having, is more a
mm,
gratitude for the fact that you are getting a
yeah,
moment to remember that. because we do forget these things because we
Mm,
come into form. So
yeah.
yeah, I think it's more
Mm,
beautiful than a release. I think it's actually not releasing something. I think it's bringing something in, awakening that piece of you
mm,
and realizing that with such joy.
maybe.
Because that feeling that you're talking about, I've had it as well, but it's a pleasure of joy, of gratitude, love, unconditional love
Yeah.
beyond our understanding in that aspect. So
I
yeah, I wonder if it's
always
something like that.
always felt like
Cool.
the break I always felt like the break I had at first where something was released was some sort of adjustment
For
in
you.
myself that needed to go. There was a
Okay.
density or
Yep.
something that needed to come out.
Right.
It
Okay.
hurt, it was
Wow.
not nice,
Oh, did it?
but it was what it was.
Yeah. Okay. You felt that.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
But
Wow.
that's what was required for me to be able to experience
Yeah. That's right. You
that, I
almost have to
guess.
empty out
I always
that
felt it
piece of
was like that,
yourself.
and I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I believe
Mhm,
that. I believe that for
yeah.
sure. Wow. Okay. So,
And
and that's it. You said that
that experience
45. Yep, gone.
since that experience, I can put my hands on trees, connect my heart and my third eye to them, and ask them to show me something, and they will show me something of that area that's
Yep.
happened. Like, I've been by a river and
Something
they've
physically
shown
that's
me it, and
happened.
it's moved. Yeah, it's like from another time, like
Okay. Oh, wow. Yep.
beforehand, before there was people there or houses. They've shown me people in old clothes picnicking on the bank of the river there one day down at Port Noarlunga, Old Noarlunga,
Wow.
and then two
Yep.
men in their funny pants playing in the water. They've shown me
Wow.
massive storms that have gone through. They've shown even dead
True.
sterile
Yep.
trees. You know those white sterile ones.
Yeah.
I've even connected to them,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
they've still got all their knowledge because they're all interconnected. So
Yeah.
even when they're dead, then
Wow.
yeah, the
They're
knowledge
not
stays.
gone.
It's amazing.
Interesting. Wow. Yeah, because I think it's you I contacted about when
Yeah.
we had our trees released here, because I was worried about
Mm.
what happens to their inner soul. Do I need to move them on anywhere? Or are they okay where they are? So that makes sense. So yeah, that they don't actually die.
They're all
They're always
connected.
there. Wow, there you go. Interesting. Cool. So what happened after that? It's like
I
that's
passed a big,
pretty awesome,
huge
eh?
gum tree one day and they were chopping it down. I'm driving and I've looked at this massive, glorious big gum tree and they must have been building a house there or something. They were taking it down in
Yeah, for sure.
massive chunks and I've connected, just burst into tears. Driving just burst into tears because they're
Yep.
chopping this glorious big old tree down. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
Mm,
that's a shame. And did you feel where it went
yeah.
to? Do you think it maybe
They
it
don't
moved
go
on
anywhere. They're
into
all
maybe they
connected.
share space?
I think they're all
Okay.
connected.
Yeah, that's
They
true.
never leave.
Yeah.
It's a
No.
for me, plants are one consciousness. It's one energy
Yeah,
through all plants and new
exactly.
parts that grow. Yeah,
Yeah.
mm,
Interesting. Wow.
that's what
I just thought
happened
they share
yesterday.
space. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so
Mm,
what happened after that though? Because that's like stage one, and you're still traveling. So
mm.
where did you go from there? Obviously, that's just the beginning.
Um, I've had time. I don't know, some sort of dimensional time slips where I went through about 3 to 4 weeks of driving. I've lived out here 22 years. I know these roads like the back of my hand.
Yeah,
Um,
you would.
all the roads out here are many, many, many kilometres long. There's no short roads. It's like being in the Northern
No, there
Territory.
isn't.
When you're driving, they're
Yeah,
like 10, 15. They're
yeah,
massive long
they are.
roads. And I've had so many, I had like 3 to 4 weeks. I was driving, not every time I drove, but a lot. I'd be driving
Yeah,
along, and then all of a sudden, I don't know where I am. And I'm on that same road, even on my own road, which is about 14 k's long. I'll be driving
yeah.
along, and all of a sudden, I'm like, where the hell am I? And I'm looking, and every now and then I'll see something that I recognize, but it's not okay. It's not the same. It's different.
Like looks different and everything.
And I feel like I was all timelines and dimensions are all side by side, and I was slipping through because
Yeah,
they
you could have been
apparently they
slipping in and
constantly
out.
run through. So
Yeah, that's right.
I, but I didn't know what was going on at the time, and it was quite disconcerting not knowing where you are all of a sudden.
Yeah,
Like
well,
I
you
would
don't
see a
know what.
house, and I knew that house, but it
Yeah,
had no fence,
that's right.
no trees.
Right.
Um,
So you
and
were
then
seeing it
eventually it
before
will go back to
sometimes. Yeah.
itself. But I had
Okay.
it going to yeah. And it was happening all the time. And I just have to keep driving to the end of the road and just keep driving until it changed back.
Bloody hell.
But when I was in Mount Barker a couple of times going to Carly's house, it's more like suburbia there. So I'm driving down the
Yeah, it is.
road and I turn left off the main drag to her road, and then her street's up on the right, their way up on the
Yep.
right. And I've
Yep.
turned the road and I'm somewhere else.
You're not on that road. Like you feel like
And
you've
I'm
gone
just
like
driving
another
up and down
direction.
that road, knowing I'm on the right road, but nothing's right. It's different, somewhere different. To the
Ah,
point that a few times I just pulled over and burst into tears out of pure frustration because I knew I was
my
in the right
God. But
place,
not
but
the
I doubt
right
I could put Google
time.
Maps on.
Yeah.
But I could
Just
put
to
Google
prove to
Maps on,
yourself
and
that you're
that seemed
there.
like
Yeah.
every time that would take me. And when I got to where I needed to go, everything had shifted back.
Oh my
It's really
God.
strange. And I
Yeah,
had
that would
that for
flip you out
about
a
3
little
or
bit.
4 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the very
very,
first time you ever had that, right? Like that hadn't happened
yeah,
beforehand. That was just that
no,
period of time. Yes. That's
yeah. A little
interesting.
bit. It
And you
reminds me
didn't
a little
feel
bit like
anything was
deja vu.
around
It's
you?
sort of related to that.
Yeah, could be a little bit of deja vu, but you didn't feel like there was anything else there with you? Like, you didn't feel visitations or vehicles or
Same
there was
deja
nothing
vu.
else, just deja vu. Interesting.
Nope.
Wow.
And I've had it a
That would
few
be
times since
mind-blowing
then,
and a bit
but
scary.
very briefly.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're definitely
So
time
that
slipping.
was
So you're
that was
shifting dimensions of some sort.
yeah. Mm.
Wow. And so you're doing it in an
So
awakened state. So you can't even say it's like you're not
yeah,
having, well, you're kind of having out of body, but you're not really because you're conscious and where you are is still the
yeah,
same. You're just seeing the either
mm,
before time or future time, something.
yeah.
Wow. Definitely a traveler. We
Mm.
could call you a traveler now. Like Tracey Hillier,
Well,
Heavenly Flow, the traveler. That's freaky.
trying to think of anything
That would
else that
probably
can
worry
relate
some
to it.
people. Yeah.
It worried me a little bit at times, but I'm pretty solid. I just kept
Yeah,
driving.
you are consciously pretty
Yeah.
strong. So you wouldn't, so you know,
Got
unless
used
you're a
to it
little
after a
bit
while.
different or you've had a bit of a spiritual journey, awakening anyway, you go, okay, maybe I'm doing this. But normal people would think they're having some sort of episode. So they'd look at it physically and yeah,
Yeah.
that could definitely throw somebody a little bit sideways. There's no doubt about that. So probably lucky that you already have had other experiences through your life that might have prepared you for that, even though that's not really preparing, but it is in a way. So that
Makes me find
yeah,
it more
you don't,
frustrating.
yeah, freak out. Holy cow. Because you hear a lot of people with those sort of stories that have things like that happen, and often they'll see a craft or a visitation or some sort of UFO episode that comes along with that before they get
Mm.
taken. That's why I'm asking, was there anything else
Yeah.
going on, or were you just time slipping?
Nothing.
Nothing else.
Yeah, just time skipping, I
Okay.
think. Back then, I mean,
Bizarre.
this is about, I know this is a couple of years, couple of maybe 3 years ago. I wasn't who I am
Yeah.
now then either to be aware of
No.
anything like that. But
Okay. Yeah.
trying to think what else
So you
has
did
happened
pretty
along
well.
those lines. I remember it's funny how someone can say one little thing to us and it can give us the
Yeah.
biggest shift in our world. Um,
Oh, huge. Yeah, it can.
when I used to drive, because I used to drive a long way, I still do it now sometimes. Every day, I would sit there just channeling out energy to all that is on Gaia, the plants, the trees, the waterways, the animals, the birds, everything.
Yeah.
And then I had a reading by someone, and they told me they mentioned something about my healing abilities and something about healing the children within
Yep.
down,
Yep.
and without going into that.
Yeah.
And I was driving along, and I'm doing my normal thing, and that thought popped into my head. So I've just gone with my hands. That's all I did, and I literally
Channeled it through.
dropped down inside
Look.
the earth, and I was in tunnels underground, and I was walking around them like this. Just
Wow.
walking through tunnels, and they showed me, I mean, I don't know that I should talk
Yep.
about what I saw down there, but they showed me rooms, there was things in jars, and there was like people, yeah, children
So
down there, and they showed me a lot
was
of
it
stuff like that.
scientific
There
looking more, or just you just think it's like
No, it
an
was
area
dirt.
that they
It
storing?
was it was dirt. The
Yep.
first it wasn't even doorways, it was just openness. First
Yep.
opening I turned to, there was big, they remind me of flagon bottles upside down, massive, great ones
Okay. Yeah.
connected to the
Gotcha.
front. There was fetuses of all different
Yep.
sizes in through there,
Yep.
and I've just gone, "Oh, geez." And I kept walking down. I got to the very end, and there was all these children in there. They were all separated apart from each other in like just a reminder me of a Hessian bag type thing. It wasn't a Hessian bag, but that's what
Oh,
square
God.
garments.
Yep.
They're all separated. I'm not sure if I'm meant to talk about this stuff.
Well, I've let people know every podcast that there'll be stories that will be shared that will be sensitive nature. So for those people that find that sort of thing uncomfortable, we respect that. But this is an open podcast and a safe space. So it probably, if you want to go into a little bit of it, feel free. Yeah, I have warned people that there'll be things that we'll speak about that are in depth.
All the children were standing separate from each other. No one in with each other's energy, except for one slightly older boy with a young girl was standing closer next to each other. None of them acknowledged me or saw me. I was just standing there looking at them, and I was crying because there.
Okay.
No, I was crying because there was no sadness, no fear. They did not have emotion. They were blank.
Okay.
I don't understand it to this day. And I was just standing there looking at them all, and I was crying. And the older blonde boy just literally looked at me. He was the only one that was the lights were on and I was home. And he looked at me, and as I looked at him, I went recognition, and bam, straight back up in the car. What I forgot to mention was when I was walking down the tunnels, at one point I was shot back up into my car, and I was still driving. And I've gone nope, and they've dropped me straight back. I wanted to see more. Back down, and that's what they showed me. So I don't know who that boy was. He was different to the
Okay. Did he look like
others.
like
I
us?
don't know if they're born down there. So
they've
shown me.
Do they look like?
Pardon?
Were they human? A lot of them are human looking. Were a lot of them human looking? Was he human looking? Just slightly different or something?
All 100% human. All 100% human. Not all exactly the same human.
Okay.
Like us.
No, but
yeah.
No. Okay. Interesting. Yeah,
Mm.
not very nice, is it?
We need to
You hear about
shift
these things, and yeah, it might go too sensitive for some people, especially if it's children. So one thing that does come to mind that I remember you telling me a long time ago. I don't know if you want to talk about what happens over Lake Alexandria, because it's an area that you guys go to quite regular. So whether it's like solar eclipses, phases and things like that. And I remember us talking about. I remember you contacted me and saying that you had a UFO and other things experiences down off Lake Alexandria. So can you remember that? Remember you guys were seeing. I won't tell the story for you, but you were seeing orbs and things like that. Can you remember those? That one's a bit of a softer subject.
So I wanted to go down to the lake, and I've asked Carly if I can say her name on here, and she's happy with that. So I said to Carly, let's go down the lake and call in our star family. We're going to call in and we want to see. So we did. We went down there, and I was laying down. We're both laying on our mats and doing what we do. And then all of a sudden I was told to sit up and look at the horizon. So I said to Carly, come on, look at the horizon. So we're looking at the horizon, and we see this one star that's just changing color. Right? It's just changing color. We're like, wow.
Yep.
And we're watching it. And then all of a sudden it starts taking a little light shape for us. And then it'd go away. And then it'd come back. And it was moving. It was just changing direction. And then we were getting like, you know what shooting stars look like? We were getting them, but they're only moving a little way. So we came
and then stopping.
Just little ones way off in the distance. And we're watching them. We're just like, wow. And then all of a sudden I think Carly noticed them, 3 stars in this shape. And I do need to look at what that star thing is.
That area.
And we were watching that, and that was the same. It was green. The stars kept going green. We're just looking at them.
Green.
And then what they were doing was they'd light up with like a running white line, run up the top of the ship, show us the shape of the ship, and drop back down. And the whole time it was going like this.
So it was shifting. So I wonder if it was
the whole thing was moving
how
like this. And then the lines would go down to the bottom and show us.
Yeah.
It ended up being shown this enormous big shift, but without it showing itself all in one hit. It was amazing. It was like we were just like little kids. We were just like freaking right out. And we were there for a long time. They were there showing us that.
Wow, that's incredible.
And then we came home back to my house, and we were standing out by my front door, and we looked, and I said, we can see that constellation from here, and we can still get that. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, you must find out what that is for sure, because there'd be sometimes they come through. I've noticed a lot of time it's either Pleiades star system or Arcturian star
Yep.
system that I've noticed in our area. They'll come through, especially up the
Yeah.
Arcturian star system for some reason. Whether that's an area they travel through and they go somewhere else, like it's either a Stargate portal, some sort of entry.
Yep.
But yeah, so I wonder what that is. You'll have to
Yep.
let me know when you find out.
Yeah.
Have to Google it and see.
I'll have to look
Wow.
into that. I keep going through.
Yeah. Like me, I'll forget. I've got to write notes, otherwise I forget everything.
I guess.
So,
But no, and
yeah.
I'm glad we were both there in this, and we just got so excited. Yeah, it was
And how,
awesome.
like,
Awesome.
Carly's just
Yes.
answered. I was going to ask, what shape was triangular? Was it like it was? Was it was it really? Well, it's hard to tell from where we
Yeah,
are.
it was
I
like
assume
that,
they're
and
bloody
but it did
huge,
have a
but
bottom. They were showing a bottom
it had a
as
bottom.
well. Yeah,
Wow,
it was very cool. Yeah, it
awesome.
had a bottom as
It's
well.
amazing.
Yeah,
Because seems to be a lot
round.
of the
Yeah, no, it was that
triangulars.
shape.
Yeah, a lot of
Round. Oh,
sorry.
you're about.
Yeah, a lot of the triangulars seem to run through.
Sorry, I'm reading
You're
Carly's
right,
comments.
through Australia. Like,
Yeah, those little scooting ones were
yeah, we do see a
triangles.
lot of those through here. Yeah, because
Yeah,
my previous guest Andrew, they talk about because he's in Melbourne, Victoria. So seems to be the mass triangles run through there a lot too. So there's something in that. He didn't know maybe who they were, but did you have an idea of what you felt who they may have been, or do they have a feeling? Do they send you a feeling?
we particularly went there
Yep,
with the intention that day. Until we got there, we went there with the intention of seeing our star family. We wanted someone that was connected with
yep.
us.
So you had a full
So
intention to happen.
that's all we know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Stephen Greer, which is the UFO gentleman, Dr. Greer, he talks and teaches people about how to make contact with their star families, and he talks about how you've got to have an intention, and then you've got to have
Yep.
your heart open, your mind open, and send a signal. So the signal's got
Yep.
to come with love, so that you don't pick up the ones you don't want to pick up. So yeah, intention's very important.
And that's
That I do
basically
know.
what we did. We laid on a mat and we did exactly that. Yeah.
Wow. And the fact you got it straight away just blows my mind. You're just like, some people wait all their lives. They'll sit out in the middle of nowhere for 20 years and not get an experience. And then you get people
Yeah.
that they go, well, let's just try this. And then bang, their first experience is amazing beyond belief. So yeah, I'm not surprised. And didn't you guys also see some stuff running through the side of the lake there somewhere through the reefs and that? I don't know if that was that time or another time, but you guys were
Yeah,
talking
that
about
was something
light.
that was the same time. That was the
Was?
same night. That was something not too nice. I had to remove. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You
Didn't
had to
even
remove it.
look,
Yeah,
didn't even look what that
yeah.
was. I just removed that and went back to what we were enjoying. Yeah.
Just knew
That
it
was
wasn't
very
meant to
close
be
to
there.
us.
Was that? Yeah. So obviously something was aware of the contact or whatever, because they're all aware of each
Mm,
other. It's obvious.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it was on the ground. Yeah.
It was on the ground. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I thought it was.
It was on the
Something
ground.
on
We
the
just,
ground.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I spine. Right. Interesting. So it's not as if you've had minor things, little things like these things.
No.
These experiences are things that a lot of people dream of having. Especially traveling dimensional
Mm,
spaces, or just any physical contacts of whatsoever. That's a dream for a lot of people that they never ever will ever get to experience. We're hoping in the future
mm,
that changes, because we're aware of things that it will come, and normal people will get that opportunity to experience some things as well. So thank you for that. Well then,
mm.
through that
I
period of
have.
your life, then you must have had some changes in yourself, right? You must have started, because
Yep.
a lot of people have physical contact with either UFO, star beings, spiritual or non-spiritual, etc., galactic
Mm.
type stuff, off-world stuff. They find that quite often their life will change, sometimes quite dramatically. So have you found anything that's changed about yourself since you started having physical contact?
Um, with me, it's not external. For me, it's more within. Just
Yeah.
more of a belief in the strength inside myself. It sounds not. I don't want to say the word power, but just a
No,
feeling
that's valid.
of safeness within myself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you'd almost feel
yeah,
like you're
quite a
not
good
alone.
feeling within myself of safeness.
Yeah.
I mean, I still have, like all of us, I still have, yeah, and I mean, I still have like self doubt, and I still have trouble with confidence,
Yeah.
like we all
That's
do
part
at
of the
times.
journey.
But
Yeah.
it's I don't mind being alone anymore. I used to always feel like, oh, I'm never going to find love and I'm not going to be loved. And I always felt alone. Nobody understands me. I always felt like that all my
Yeah.
life. And then all of a sudden
Yeah.
now I don't. I'm quite
Yeah.
solid in who I am these days. I kind of like
Yeah.
who I am.
And you sort of wonder, yeah, that's right. And you sort of wonder, a lot of it's your own work, your own healing. You know, you've got to take credit for the work you've done on yourself because that's you. But I do find that some of these experiences can shift your reality. So they shift you emotionally, physically, mentally into hopefully a good place where you start to feel like you are connected to something. And that then takes away that I'm not so alone. This is really who I am and this is really happening to me. And, you know, and sometimes you know, people get a bit upset about ego. And I go, well, sometimes it's nice to have a little bit of the ego, the piece of you that goes, you know what? I'm quite proud of the fact that I've had that experience and I've been that lucky, and it's okay to have that feeling. You know what I mean? And I think that's what can create some self-worth. It really can. And that takes away some of the loneliness that a lot of people come in my way that have that loneliness. And what it is, it's sometimes it's physical, it's their life, but other times it is the fact that they're not having any other experiences that they need. They need to know that that who they are and what they're feeling that they are is real and that this is possible and it does happen. It truly does happen. And it takes away some of that. I feel like I'm not connected enough or alone in that aspect. It can help the connection. So, Mr. Who?
My
But
my rooster's crowing. I just shut the window.
oh,
Sorry.
okay. Good hearing. Okay, so that's
Patient.
one of many, obviously. Yeah. So what else have you had then? There's got to be more. Let's dig her out. Let's get deeper.
I did a big meditation with someone online years ago that was, it still is very amazing. And it
Yep.
finished at 1:20 in the morning. And
Okay.
it was huge. I was born awake and shut down at 3, 4 years old. And I was shown the whole
Okay.
reptilian thing through that. So it
Yep.
was quite confronting for me. And I've gone to
Yeah, it
bed,
would be.
and that was the day I realized what had happened to me as a child.
Yep.
So quite confronted. 1:30 in the morning, went to bed, woke up in the morning, and I was floating above my doorway in my bedroom. And my bedroom, when I looked this way, was
Oh,
my bedroom. But when I looked
yeah.
down, it was somewhere else. I don't know if it was
It was
on
not
ship.
where
I
you
don't know
are.
where it was. It was somewhere else. No, and
Okay.
I was there. I was looking outside of
Yep.
myself at myself. I was laying on a
So you're out
silver
of body
tray.
for sure. Yep.
Yeah. I had a white
Wow.
something across here, so I was naked with a covering on me,
Yep.
and I had 2 beings either side of the table, and all 4 of them were
Mm,
just looking at me, at my body on the table like this,
yep.
and above my head was these golden symbols, and they were changing so fast, I couldn't
Like
catch them. I
mega
did draw a
fast.
couple, but I was trying also
Yep.
I'm like, "What?" I was a bit alarmed, these symbols, and
Yep.
then all of a sudden, I'm looking at these symbols and me like, "What the hell?" All 4 of these beings at the same time have looked at me, and as they've done that, I've myself falling, and I was sitting in my bed, like sitting up in my bed. And I'm just like,
Oh,
what on
well,
earth has just happened?
you were what?
I
It
was so
woke you up?
ungrounded.
Like you woke up out of it? Okay.
Yeah, I was sitting in my bed, and I was so ungrounded. I didn't know what to do with myself. I was in a little bit of overload because I just found out my childhood trauma the night before, with
Yeah,
things
exactly.
outside of this
Hypersensitive.
construct. And
Yep.
then this happened. I know now I wasn't fully back in my body. I didn't know what it was at the time.
No, you
I
can't
knew
have
I was
been.
here.
Yeah.
I knew I was here.
Yep. Yep.
And I couldn't ground. I thought I was going to end up in the funny farm. I thought I was going to end
Yeah.
up in like Glenside, which is our local
Mental.
mental
Yep.
health centre.
Yep.
I was out on my hands and knees in the soil. I had a magnesium bath. I was asking friends to come and help ground me. Didn't know what to do
Yep.
with myself, Marantha. I was beside myself. I ended up
Yeah, that would
curled
be
up in the fetal
nice.
position. I ended up curled up in the fetal position across the pillows on my bed, absolutely breaking my heart. I thought I'm going crazy. I'm like, I've lost my
Yeah.
mind. I'm out here. How can I be out here and here?
Yeah.
You know?
That's right.
And I
Yeah.
felt, I say it was 4 angelics, 4 beautiful energies dropped down, and I felt them put their hands on me, and I slipped back into my body, and it was such a
Wow.
release to be safe again and back.
Yeah,
They stayed with
be.
me for ages while I wept and wept and wept and wept.
Mm.
That day was
Wow.
pretty hectic. That took me
Loving
most of the
family.
day to get to that point, to get back in. So I've gone to bed that night. The next morning I've woken up, I'm above the damn door again, and there I am on the table again with the same 4 beings and the same symbols. This time I wasn't so
Yep.
frightened. And
Yeah,
so
which
I
would
was
you?
watching. And again, all 4 of them at the same time look at me, and bam, I'm falling down a big hole, and there I am sitting in my bed again. This happened for
Wow.
3 days consecutively. That happened the next day
In a
as
row.
well.
Oh
3
my
days
God.
they were doing stuff with me. Yeah,
God.
in a row. So it
Did
was
they
a
speak to
big,
you? Were they talking to you, or did you see them? Well, they normally don't.
nothing.
Normally
I
they
wasn't
don't
meant to be
speak.
there.
It's telepathy. Ah, okay.
I felt like I was meant to be consciously not aware what was going on, and
Yep.
I've gone, "Oh, what's going on?" And I've popped up out of my
Oh yeah, because you've gone into
body
a
and gone,
mental
"Oh,
state.
what's happening?"
Pops you
And
out.
they've gone, "Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
You
no."
know.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's like, yeah, I was being nosy. I wasn't no.
Yeah,
That's
but
how
it's
I
okay.
always
It's
felt.
all to say, well, it's time for you
I
to come
felt
and
no
get,
threat from
you know, let us. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And what did they look
I
like? What
felt no
honestly,
threat
like
from them.
no threat?
At the time,
Okay.
I used to say they look
No
like
threat?
greys, but I used to say they look like greys, but they had more of a pinky tinge to their
Yep.
skin, and they're really tall. So that's the only way I could
Okay.
explain them. They were naked, they were androgynous, no sexual organs.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and
Yeah,
they've
because
never come
many
since.
types. Yeah. I've never
Yeah.
seen them again that you're aware of anyway, that you're consciously aware of. You probably know after going through
Yeah.
that, you would go, no, I'd be aware if they come. I would know their signature, their feeling. So yeah, it'd have to be hybrid of some sort.
Yeah.
Wow, interesting.
They're probably who I chat to in the nights. I wake up every day lately just having big conversations with people. I don't know who they are, but they're very serious
Yeah,
conversations. So
yeah, like a
we do a
meeting.
lot when we're asleep that we don't realise. Yeah,
Yeah, we
there's
do.
so much more
Yeah,
than
we
we
do.
know.
Oh my
So
gosh, we're
much
off
more
doing
than
all
we
sorts.
realise.
No doubt about that. And so
Yeah.
they didn't even give you they didn't even give you any information about who they were. They just wanted to download something, some sort of info into you, some sort of upgrading of some sort,
No,
maybe just resetting. That's interesting
that's why that
because normally
first
some people get
day
an idea. Yeah,
that first day was a nightmare. I was,
yeah.
yeah, very messy that first day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you would have been, well,
yeah,
because you've literally, in reality, physically walked out of your body, which is an OBE.
yeah,
Similar to
yeah,
near death, but an OB is a controlled environment, so you're consciously awake and in control, sort of, in that experience. So, yeah, obviously they just felt it was their job to help you, and that's all that was required. Because a lot of those sort of species,
mm.
quite
I
methodical.
find they pull me away. They pull me I find they pull me out a lot.
You
I
know.
got really brave and went to Tasmania by myself on a plane, and I was terrified. And we hit major
Yeah.
turbulence. All the things fell down. The alarms went off. Everyone had to get filtered.
Lord.
And I'm like, oh dear God, we're going to die, you know. And I had my head on the window looking at the clouds, and they just snap, and they take me to the
Yeah.
black. I call it the void. I was off to black. And
Yeah,
then
the
I
void.
come back with them saying, please fasten your seatbelts as we are landing in Hobart. You know, they do that
Okay,
when
so
I
they're taking
nearly
you out.
died. Yeah, when I had my surgery and I nearly bled out, and I thought I was
Yeah.
dying, they did the same thing. I had blood transfusions all night, and they took me away all night. And I'd
Yeah.
pop back in, and then they'd take me straight back away because I couldn't cope with because I within bring anyone, my family, no one. I laid in that bed and I realized that I may die because kept crashing.
Yeah.
And I realized that I may die here. And within like this, I just went, okay,
Just accepted.
okay. And they went and took me away. It was like, no, I don't know what they did out there with me, but out.
Obviously, just kept you
They take me
somewhere,
out.
keep you safe for a while, while your physical
I don't
body
need to
is handled. Yeah.
yeah.
Interesting. It's
So
amazing that can
that
happen.
happens to me
So
a
I
lot.
said a lot of people, yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
people can do that under a controlled environment, like I said, which is OBE, out of body experience. and other people do it in meditation, and other people it just happens to be randomly. It's spontaneous like yours. So yeah, that's interesting. The fact is they
Anna,
yeah,
that
go
would
on.
be Anna, that would be a Carly and a Brooke back in those days.
Yep.
Really, really, really good to have someone who's going through the same stuff as you that you can talk to.
Oh heck yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I would be so lost
Absolutely.
without them. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what happens that for a lot of people,
Tracey.
a lot of people don't get that luxury, and they're on their own, and they don't know who to. This is why I started this podcast, because people don't get to share their experiences with everybody, because a lot of the world itself, unless you are someone who's either had the experience, you generally got to have the experience or have a great excitement and desire to know, to hold that space and understand that what someone's going through. Most people don't get that luxury at all. They sometimes it can literally break them because they have nowhere to go, and the people that they try and go to are usually very physically minded, very scientifically minded, and they don't offer that luxury of giving them a space to speak openly. So they get put into places or get laughed at, or even their own family and things like that can break them into a million pieces by not believing them and thinking that they've lost their mind. And there's been too much on this planet over many centuries to prove that it just really happening. It's not something that human beings are making up. Not when you have physical experience right in front of you and you're awake, you're conscious, like you're sitting in your car, for God's sake. You can't deny that. Because if you were flipping out and having something otherwise that people would consider a mental breakdown or whatever it would have been, you probably wouldn't have been driving. You probably would have pulled over and completely lost the plot. You know what I mean? The fact that you were still driving, so you're still partly conscious in the physical and the non-physical. There was definitely an experience going on there for sure. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, a lot of people, people think you're nuts because they just don't know what to do with it. They don't know how to handle that because we are so programmed and taught to believe that on this planet there's only this, we only exist like this, and that's part of our way we survive as well. But what's happening now is that if you notice, whether it's a news thing or a podcast or people just talking in general, or UFO, people like Dr. Greer who are going out and opening those doors, so that those people that have had, whether it's good or bad experiences, he's like we're doing. He opens that space and he talks openly. They're more in depth. I'm not a UFO expert. Let's get that straight. I have many experiences, yes, but I am no expert. I'm not someone who knows everything about UFOs, UAPs, conspiracies, and things like that. Very limited. I'm more someone like Tracey who lives in the experiences or lives in the reality that it's happening. But no, I'm definitely not someone who knows all that was put on my podcast. Please don't think I'm an expert. I'm far from it. I just know what I see and what I experience, and people I know that have the same. So yeah, if anyone says to me, they get a bit in depth, a bit scientific, I'm like, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry, don't know. So yeah, I'll make that very clear. I'm not an expert on this subject. So have you had any other type of, so whether through meditation or things like this, have you had any other visits or connections or spoken to other UFO? I don't even like the word UFO because it's so bloody negative, but I call them galactics or star beings and things like that. So UFO or other physical experiences or meditation experiences, anything that's really, you would go, wow, I can't believe I just had that.
When I went to Tasmania, the energy there is cranking. Oh,
Oh, I love Tasmania.
But
I wanted 3 times I've been there. I wanted to stay, but anyway.
With me, the whole trance thing, for me, an experience I had in Tasmania, which was kind of amazing, where I stayed at a friend's house. The back of his property was just like his garden was lawn, and then a little farm fence, just wire and posts. And then it was the first ever Beaconsfield mine, with a little creek running through and all the old mines.
I've been there.
And I was so excited to go there.
Right.
And when I got there, I used to sit there for hours watching. I wouldn't go in there. I was too frightened. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I did not want to go in there.
No, I haven't been into
And he kept
I haven't been
asking me
into
to
the mines. I've been past. Yeah.
I wouldn't even go in that area, like to the creek in there at all.
Oh,
I
sure.
did not want to go through that
Okay.
gateway. It's
Yeah.
really weird. I'm a country girl,
Yeah, it should be natural for
And
you.
they kept saying, "Let's go, let's go, let's go." And I'd go, "Oh, weren't we gonna go to the cherry farm today? Weren't we gonna?" And I kept putting it off to go somewhere
Right
else.
past.
I had a
Yeah,
lot of
right.
experiences in his house with spirit that I was shown and clearings, and I had something on top of me in the night that I had to clear. One thing I would like to say is when we have really bad experiences that are frightening, anything that scares us, makes us feel unsafe. Our heart, and without telling you all the experiences I had to made me realize this is our heart is our motor. It is our power. It is
Mm.
amazing. If we can
Yeah,
drop
it is.
into our heart and blow our heart
Mhm.
out and then pulse it
Yeah,
and see the frequencies of our heart coming off, we can clear so much stuff. Most
yeah.
stuff will leave immediately,
It does within that
no matter what
millisecond.
it is.
That's right.
That's our engine, that's our power
Well, they've
center.
scientifically
So
proven that.
I'd
Not that
like
I follow science really, but they have proven that scientifically that the heart puts out the most electrical magnetic I'll get it out, energy of the whole body. It's that powerful because we used to think the brain was the high center, right? And the electrons and the neurons that fire, and they oh my God, there's so much magnetic energy coming off that. But the heart over the recent years has been proven as 10 times more powerful as a structure of magnetic energy. So yeah, that's true. So for those that aren't sure, I'll put a physical side to it that it's been proven. So yeah,
mm,
and it does. It
so
it uh,
we have
it
yeah.
releases. Yeah, it does.
So I've got up at 6:30 in the morning and I've gone outside to have my coffee and my cigarette because I was a naughty
Hmm.
smoker. And I was
Yep.
looking at my Facebook and this angelic music came on. So I've listened. I went, "Oh, that's nice." So I popped it down on the table next to me. And I've never
Hmm.
tranced at this point in my life. I've never
Hmm.
really done much in the way of light language with my hands. Gone. Suddenly I'm rocking and I've just started. I'm light languaging, right? And
Yep.
I'm aware I'm doing these things, but I'm like the lights are on, but I'm not really home. And it was the
Yeah, that's
first
right.
time I'd ever experienced trance. So I just ran with it. I'm just like, "Oh, this is a really nice." Where I was really nice to be.
Yep.
So I was happy to just watch what I was doing as such, even though I was still within myself. I wasn't out.
No.
Um, I sat there doing all this light language and I was pushing and pulling energy. Push, pull, just sitting on this chair on his back veranda. And the
Yep.
next thing I know, I'm in my flannelette pajamas in bloody Tasmania. It's icy cold. I've been wet all night.
Oh
I've got up in
God.
my little slippers and I've walked down his garden through that gate. I've walked into that place that I was scared of for the last week. And
Yep.
I've gone and sat down in amongst all the bracken fern, cross-legged,
Yep.
and I've got my eyes shut and I've looked over here and they've shown me a whole line of miners
Oh
just
wow.
standing there watching me. But I
Yep.
knew that wasn't who I was with. And so I've sat there and I'm looking over this way and they've got me pushing and pulling energy, right? And then all of
Wow.
a
Yep.
sudden I've gone and I've pulled up out of the ground these two beautiful pillars either side of me. And then a
Yep.
massive pillars come down from the top down and sat on top of that. And I'm inside this. I've opened up this massive portal and these people have started coming. And as they've come
Wow.
through, they have given me love. And I'm a sook. I'm
Gratitude.
just
Yeah.
running tears. And
Yeah.
through
It's
this
a bit like
gentleman
that.
went. And then another one came and again love.
Wow.
And through he went. And I sat there
Beautiful.
for a while just weeping. I
Yeah.
still could see the miners were watching.
Yeah.
And then I've literally just gone, shook my hands, and it's all just closed.
Wow.
When I came back and then I've just sat there and wept for quite a while. And then I've
Yeah.
come back into myself and I've got up and gone back to my wet bum, back up to
Yeah.
the house, just gone, what the hell just
Calm.
happened? I've never done anything like that in my life. And from that point forward, I've been able to connect and pass spirit over. I've been able to do all that stuff myself now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when I came back
Wow.
from Tasmania, I'm trying to think who it was. It might have been Misty Lynn. I'm not sure.
Yep.
Were doing readings, and I said my question was what happened in Tasmania? What I felt happened. Did that really happen?
Yeah.
And she said, I
Natural.
have a gentleman. She said, I have a gentleman here that's thanking you so much. He he's finally with his family after waiting for so many years. And I burst into tears. That was my validation. And that's all I asked
Beautiful.
her.
Yep.
Is what
Yeah,
happened
you
in
just
Tasmania.
needed to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. For those that don't know,
Yeah.
Tasmania is it's not an island, but it's a segment that's slightly separated, but it's still Australia, something like a little gap in between that sits below the bottom of Australia. But I've been through Beaconsfield. We had a friend who lived there when we went on our, I've been there 3 times into Tassie. I would move there tomorrow. But anyway, that's a long story. But in that area, there's a mining area through there, and there's been many unfortunate accidents and things that have happened. And then quite some time back, a few years back, there was 2 men that were trapped in down there, and there was a major incident. So she would have picked up a lot of what has happened through that mining industry. Yeah, it's not much there. There's not much in town. A little IGA and a few homes scattered. So, but it's a major area for mining and things like that. So yeah, I've been to there. I haven't been to the mine itself, but I've been to there because that's where he lives. So, and it's beautiful. It is beautiful, but it's a very sad place. It was quite a big but awful incident that happened a few years ago through there. So, hey Sue. Wow. So that and you've had you're a natural channel, obviously, so you've not needed to really do much of any training. You've just over the years allowed that piece of you to accept and love that you're capable. And then the more you do that, of course, the more the gift can open. So yeah, wow, interesting. That'd have been pretty cool though, because to feel them come in with such gratitude and say thank you and then leave is pretty amazing. You know what I mean? So sometimes that's just all they need. They sometimes just need someone to hold that space for them so they can travel. So yeah, very cool.
Yeah. So what else would you like to talk about?
Have you had any? Yeah, maybe something a little bit really out there, like Dad's experience would be really cool. Yeah. I wasn't going to ask. I thought, no, I'll ask later because I'm sure that'll be right. Sorry, Dad, but anyway, we're going to do it.
Ask because he doesn't talk about it. So
no, we're not giving his name, so he's all right there. No. Yeah.
To set the scene, my dad does not believe in psychics. He doesn't believe in tarot cards. If I used to read my Aries astrology every week, he used to give me shit. Like a load of double dodge.
Imagine.
Doesn't believe in
bloke.
reincarnation. Yeah. When you die, you go to sleep and that's it. It's done. That's my dad, and he's adamant on it. So he had an experience. Yeah, he went to work. Before I tell you that, he did not talk about this for about, I don't know how many years, a lot of years, like 5, 6 years.
What's up?
7 years, a long time. Sure, he would talk to anyone and tell me his experience. I knew he'd had it.
I don't blame
told me, but I didn't know what.
Okay.
Yeah, it shook his.
Imagine the shock for him because he's a true Aussie average bloke, and then you have an experience that you don't believe in. Yeah, that wouldn't be a lot to handle for him. I get that. Poor thing. Yeah. Anyway,
I love Wailing.
Yeah.
So Dad's working at Mitsubishi, which is like the biggest factory we've ever seen in Adelaide.
It's a car factory.
You come out. Yes, it's enormous. It's like blocks and blocks.
Is that? Okay. Suburbia. Wow.
It's massive. Yeah. And the car parks are even bigger, and they go like this. And then there's when you walk out the back door, this little teeny doors. It has its own power station out the back.
Yeah, righto.
There. So Dad's doing afternoon shift there. He was a spray painter there, and he's walked out the back door. Him and his friend have walked out the back door, and both just stopped. And he said there was this enormous disc ship, enormous, he said, right? Yeah. And it was over the power station. And they just looked at it, and he said it was very slowly spinning, and he said one light was on. And it had them kind of mesmerized.
Yeah.
This one light would disappear and come into view. Disappear, come into view. He said it was massive. Like the typical flying saucer disc.
Yeah. That everyone talks about. Yeah.
And he said neither of them said a word. They both sat there with their jaws on their chest, And he said in the blink of an eye, and this is what messed with his mind, In the blink
Yeah.
of an eye, it went onto the horizon and stayed there, and they could still see that light coming round.
From that far.
And
Bloody
then
hell.
gone. And then gone. And he said he literally went home, poured himself a glass of wine, and my mum got up at 4 or 5 when she got up for work, and Dad was still sitting in the kitchen, white as a ghost, hadn't drunk his wine. He was just sitting there in the chair but still by morning.
It's like, how does a man like that break that down? Yeah, exactly. Wow, poor thing.
And as I say, it took him many, many, many years till he would even tell me. So
Yeah,
it's
I
not
don't blame
something he
him.
would share.
No, let's put it out there. Even for people like us that would go,
Okay,
yes,
it's my
please, I want to
niche
see that,
experience.
would be surprised. Yeah. And he had a witness, so it's not as if he was, you know, making it up. It was right in front of him.
Yeah.
So, like, obviously it was huge. Like,
Yeah. So
did you have an idea of how big? Like, compared to where the factory is, like, how far did it cover, does he reckon? Or did he not go that in depth? Or
well, the car park's pretty huge. It's pretty
is that?
huge, like huge. I don't know, I didn't see it, but from
Yeah,
his
right.
description, he said it was like almost to the factory down there and all the way around, like it was almost over the edge of the factory at the end.
Wow.
So we're talking, you know, like
God
Westwood
knows.
Marion.
Oh,
You know, big Westwood
that
Marion
area.
shopping centre
Yeah.
stuff, that
And it was,
their
yeah.
ground
And did he
space.
say it was like,
Yeah.
sorry, and did he say it was a bit like, you know, the silver disc looking thing, or was it just, they just saw the light and they just knew it was
He never
round?
said even what colour the light was. He never even told
Oh,
me what
okay.
colour the light was, and I never asked. I just sat quietly, I listened, and I
Well,
just went, "Wow," and that was all. And
respected.
he's funny because now there is such thing as that, but we don't talk about it.
Yeah. Oh,
And
okay. Well,
healing
that's fair
doesn't.
enough.
I'm not a healer. I can't fix anything. How
Yeah.
can I fix something? You know what I mean?
Okay.
So
Yeah, fair
he's
enough.
still in that belief. Love him,
Yeah, no,
but he accepts
respect him
me
for
for who
that.
I am.
Yeah.
He accepts
Yeah.
me for who I am,
Yeah.
even though he thinks I'm a little strange.
Yeah, but then it's just how he can handle it, so you don't hold that against him. You know, it's not for us to judge them because, yeah, it's just the way it is. It's his comfort zone. But yeah, I'm sure he went to bed eventually at that night and probably thought, no, no, I wasn't drinking. I didn't have a wine then. So it'd be amazing to be in his mind, in his
Mum's
head, going, wonder what he's running in there, you know, like what scenarios and what's he trying to make out that he really did see, poor thing. But it's exciting, very exciting.
It happened, but
Wow.
he doesn't wanna know about it. He doesn't wanna he believes now, but he does not want to know about that.
Okay, well,
That's
that's
where
fair
he's
enough.
at.
There's a lot of
It's
people
not
that
for
go, I
him.
don't know what I saw. Yeah, no. And they're allowed to do that. Not everyone is that excited about UFO experiences, you know what I mean? So that's fair enough. Don't blame me. Thanks, Sue. See ya. Wow, far out. But as long as if you guys have had nothing, eh? Like it's that's a lot of that's a many experiences on many levels. That not just, oh, I think I saw lights. Like it's full on. What the hell is that on your screen? Is she frozen? Oh, it's gone. When you go back and play this, I write that down. I think it'll still be there. 108 roughly. You froze, but it looked like something white, unusual looking on your screen. I was going to take a photo, but I didn't get a chance. It's too fast. I'll have to go back and check that on the replay and see what the heck that was. That was freaky. For those that don't know, I have strange things that happen on my lives quite often. Very strange things. Lights, images, things that walk past, things that flash past, streaking lights. It happens. Yeah, I saw it too. I don't know what it was.
News.
Oh, okay then.
ABC
Here's the latest
briefing
news.
at 38 today.
I was about to message you because I got knocked off and I don't know what's happening. Sorry.
Sarah
Yeah, you saw it too, Joshy. Hopefully it's on the replay. You know, I'm gonna go back straight away and check that. All right, my
Everything
darling.
here
Well,
shut down,
yeah.
Miranda.
I did it. No, you
I was-
froze, but
yeah, I
I
just
didn't
said
think you'd gone anywhere.
disc dialing.
Oh.
Yeah, I just said disc. That's why I was trying to message you. What's going on? Do you want me to leave and come back? What do you
No,
want
no,
me to
no.
do?
You just
Yeah.
it's just a bit of freezing, but yeah, I didn't realise that. But there was something on the screen that was white, like misty white looking,
Yeah.
shadowy, not shadow, but yeah, that misty white looking, clear. Yeah, it's all right. I'll send it through. I'll take a photo of it when I find it. Hopefully it stays there and is on the replay, and I'll send it to you. So, all right, my darling. So we're on our hour. would you like to, I'm sure you've got so many other stories, and what I'm going to do is that over time, if that you guys think of anything or anything happens, you just contact me, let me know, and you're more than welcome to come back and share more. It's open to do so. So if you're open, and you can say no, everyone gets a choice. For those that are not comfortable when they come on, I ask them this question, they can go, no, not today. There is no problem whatsoever. But would you like to share a little bit about what you do? Would you like to do some coding, light language, set an intention? Maybe just keep, because what it is, we're going to give people, there's a spiritual side to it. So it's not just UFOs.
I
It's nice
already
to
set the
share
intention
gifts.
before I came on.
Good girl. I knew she would, but I just got to ask, because I've got to ask.
I
It's a
already,
polite thing to do. So.
before I came on, I already called in my team and asked for anyone that enters this feed to watch this receives any healing or any coding or anything that they require for their highest good.
Yep.
So everyone that is wanting that, just simply take a few breaths, drop into your heart and allow it, and it will be.
And do you want to share a bit of like that? Josh is, yeah, do it. Your son's like, yeah, do it.
No.
Isn't it? You want to share a bit of light language? Are you sure? She's very good. She's very good at it. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Go on. Even if it's only just a few seconds, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be much. That people see what this is all about too, that this stuff exists.
Dear. Niara tukoe shiwara. Niara tukoe ranai. Shiara tukura. Niara he ki ai shora nai. Iara tura. Nishiara. Iara kutura nai. Shiara. Etiara nuana. Ikura. Iasha. That's me. I'm all nervous.
I know she wouldn't do much, but what it does is it gets you to just be you, gives you an opportunity to just let go, and that's some of what I'm doing this for as well, to bring people out so they can just sit in a place that they feel comfy and just let go and be themselves, because it does help. It helps with your growth, and it helps with your self-worth and your belief and faith in yourself and your teams and those that you have worked and had time with. So it's my little my little end secret thing that I bring out. Like, go on, just show a little bit. That's me. That's how I get people to open up. All right, my lovely. Well, that was beautiful. Thank you so much for coming in. And it is a big deal for you to come and do this, because it's not everyone is comfortable in sharing their experiences, and you are really opening up a piece of yourself that's very private. So thank you for doing that and trusting me to come on my platform and show who you are. It has been amazing. You've had some incredible experiences, and I'm hoping that anyone that is here today and watches the replay, it resonates with them in some way, where they go, oh my God, I've had something similar, or yes, that's happened to me. So thank you for doing that for people, because again, we're healing them. We're opening them up to the possibilities and giving them the chance to see that it's okay that they've had something unusual. So that's part of what we're doing as well. So very cool. So if anybody else, on my page, Marantha O'Rourke, if you want to go and have a sticky beak, you'll see the little picture up in the corner, the little book Beyond the Stars. There's a write up there that I'm looking for people that have had either physical, spiritual, both, or unusual experiences they'd like to share. And as you heard me say in the beginning, you're welcome to share many different things. To do so, you contact me through Facebook Messenger, and everyone gets screened. Even my friends had to have a chat and a meeting with me to make sure that who you are, what you're going to share is appropriate, what I'm looking for the podcast. So everyone, don't take it personal. Everyone gets checked and screened, alrighty? So you're more than welcome to share either a voice message or type up a little message, text me, an idea of what you've been through, what you've seen, if it's UFOs, vessels, ships, galactic beings, spiritual experiences and things like that that you would like to maybe share publicly. Contact me Facebook Messenger, and I will have a look and see if it's what I'm looking for. Simple as that. Like I said, everyone's been screened. Every single person that's come on here has had a chat or sent me a message, and I've had to think about it. So there is openings in there's one opening I think in July somewhere, so it's not far away. So July and past July, so the rest of the year, I'm looking for people to come in and share their UFO, spiritual, extraterrestrial, or otherwise experiences publicly, to share their stories. And then if they want to, if you're spiritual and you want to share a little piece of your abilities, your gifts, your channeling, your light language, or whatever it may be, you're more than welcome to do that as well. So yeah, feel free to contact me and we'll go from there. So my next guest is Jacob Whitewolf. For those that know Whitewolf, he's my next guest, and then Michael Muir. They're both very similar to Tracey. They both do light language. They're both kind of channels, galactic channels, trance channels. They do a bit of everything themselves. So I look forward to their stories, because everyone that's come through has had very, very deep, very interesting experiences to share. So it's nice to have different types of people, gifted or non-gifted, doesn't matter. You can just be a physical person. You don't have to be spiritual to come on here. You can just be an average Joe, like Tracy's father, who's seen something, or has been even an abductee, or had something very unusual happen that they can either explain or can't explain. They don't even have to know anything about this stuff, but feel free to contact me and let me know if you've had something unusual. We'd love to have you. Alrighty, my love. Well, thank you, and thank you everyone that has come. Share us out, like, follow, all that jazz. Tracey Heavenly Flow and Maranthro Rourke. My other business page is Diamond of Divinity. You're more than welcome to come and join my group. And I do have a private group with Caroline Thomas of Caroline's Energy Healing and Tarot Card Readings. It's called Divine Warriors. You're welcome to come and check that group and join us, but you will be screened through Divine Warriors because it's a mentor and teaching group platform only. So therefore, we only allow certain people in, people that are ready to shift consciously and evolve. So it's slightly different, that group. So that's Divine Warriors. So yeah, come join us all. She's popped out again. She's probably on another bloody planet or a ship somewhere. What universe you in there, Miss Hillier? She's gone. I'll go. All right, love you all, and thank you. And you buggered off again. So I said, you're probably on a bloody ship. She's going to beam me up, Scotty, somewhere else. I will be live. I'm not sure when. For those that know me, know why. So hopefully next week I may be live. We'll see how we go. My darling, people can contact you if they'd like to come and speak to you and get some help.
They can contact me on Facebook or on Heavenly Flow. At the moment, I'm really into using all my gifts to help people keep in their sovereignty. So removing anything that doesn't belong, emotional blocks, looking at what's holding us back. That's the sort of thing I'm into at the moment. So if
so helping people to build their faith.
Yes.
Good idea.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of people struggling, in that way, not in their sovereignty, which means we say sovereignty, we mean those who are not in their heart and their own love of self and self-worth. Even people that are feeling they're deeply spiritual and very gifted and finding that they're not as connected as they'd like to be, or feel a little disconnected or disjointed. We are all here to help you with that. So feel free to contact us all. Alrighty, my love. We'll go. Time for coffee.
Thank you for allowing this platform. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, well, it's a bit of everything. So it is UFOs, it is abductee stories, all that jazz. But it's also, I'm hoping it helps other people heal so that they don't feel alone, and that they have somewhere where they can go and just sit with other people who might be a little bit like them. Or they just got a desire and interest in this sort of stuff, whether it's spirituality or just physical UFO experiences. Again, like I said, just so that they understand that this stuff, mate, it's everywhere through the world. It's not, we call it an unusual experience, but it's not really. It's actually quite common. It's so common, it's mind-blowing. It really is. And with all the changes that are happening around the world and the experiences in this way that are happening, it's going to be more obvious. You know what I mean? So people need to go somewhere, either to listen to people like us, or whether it's YouTubing or otherwise, where they get to, like Stephen Greer, people that can give you an idea in a way that helps you feel at ease with your experience, so you don't feel like such a stranger or a weirdo. Because we are weird, but for people that aren't like us, it's different for them. They don't feel quite the excitement we do sometimes. It's very hard for them. So alrighty, we are gone. Love you all, and I'll see you soon.